Hello, Jill. Hello, Catherine. So Annie just came in here to tell me that our daughter Lisa has a little farm, a little 2.5 acre farm, and she raises alpacas, dogs, and stuff like that. And she had a huge maple tree in back pasture, and this tree went up and then spread way out. One set of limbs went to the north, and the other set of limbs went to the south. And over last winter, the trunk actually split. So there was a big split down the trunk. And this is a big tree, big limbs. I mean, the base of the tree was this big around. And Lisa was trying to save the tree by using by wrapping it with cord, right, and then jacking the cord and trying to save it. But apparently last night it fell down. It split all the way down and fell down. That's dangerous. Dangerous when those things happen. But apparently no ducks, chickens, or dogs got hurt in this accident, or alpacas.
But in a way, it sounds like a metaphorical uh, thing for what's happening in this country.
Well, there's a guy. I don't know whether you guys have heard of the guy Alan Lichtman. Does that ring a bell? Dr. Alan Lichtman. He's a retired sociologist, and back in the early 80s, he developed a 12-point questionnaire, and he would ask himself these questions about each election. So it has to do with foreign policy and domestic policy and yada 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 yada, all these things. And he has successfully predicted every election since 1984, right? Including when Trump won in 2016. All right, so he did for this election here, and his prediction is that Kamala Harris is going to win this election. No problem. And I think she's going to too. Thank God.
I hope so. But
And
it
the,
still doesn't solve the divide.
no, it doesn't solve the
But at least it's
divide,
not going
and,
to be
and
further sown
but
by.
it's further in the future, right? The problems are further in the future. I hope.
Well, I
I
hope she
hope
can
anyway.
start addressing some of the the issues that are basically what is driving it. So, I mean, because it's the whole, to me, a lot of it is, it's basically the economic model is that you've got a large portion of people that have been left behind, and no one's really addressing it like in a substantive way. It's just that Trump is paying lip service to it, um, which apparently
Do you really think anyone is going to address it?
they have to at some
Realistically,
point.
huh? Not a chance. Not a chance. I hate to tell you, but I don't think it's going to happen. It never has in the past. I don't know why it would suddenly now. You may be right, Jill, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't happen because it should be right or wrong. It just happens because that's the way stuff happens. Okay, no more politics, right? Harris is going to win, though. That's it. No more politics. All right, let's do some silk reeling. Head turns. And center and head rolls. And down to center and reverse. And down to center and back up. Forward spinal wave. And reverse. And go. The quad. And reverse. And good. Belly rolls. And reverse. And the windmill. And good. and squats. And the other side. And left again. And right again. And prayer position. Okay, hands on the knees, up slowly. Keep your head down a moment. Shoulders. And reverse. And the other side. And reverse. and alternates. And reverse. And double. And reverse. And good. Elbows. And reverse. And the other side. And reverse. And alternates. And reverse. And double. and reverse. All these exercises, all these silk reeling exercises work by the same principle. It's not your arms that move. They move a little bit, right? It's your core that moves. So this is not right. Boudet. This. So think also about the Dantian and the Tanzhong. When do you use the Tanzhong? When do you use the Dantian? Where am I?
Danshin.
Tanzhong, Mingmen. What? Down
Here.
low. Yeah. Now watch. Now where am I?
Here.
Now where am I? Down again. This back here is what's pushing. Maybe you could say for this stroke it's a little bit of both. Imagine that you had to push someone who does not want to be pushed. If you try to push them with your arm, how far do you think you're going to get? Not very far. What you want to push them with is the whole mass of your body. Last time we met and did these exercises, we did a variation on that this that looks like this. That's pushing more in front rather than to the side. But the same thing applies. It's the body that pushes. So I wanted to, there was something I didn't say last time that I should have. I'm going to say it this time. And that has to do with the use of your arms. This is a drill that we used to do all the time in push hands, right? So the other guy would line up opposite you, and it's a drill. We're not trying to kill each other, it's just a drill. So he would be coming with his other arm, and you'd meet here, right? Pop, right? Pop, pop. What I was going to say is, when you do this, the underside, you use the underside of your arm, not the side of your arm. Why, Jill? Why use the underside of your arm rather than the side of your arm?
It has more padding.
Yes, exactly. If you use the side of your arm and he or she is using the side of your arm, you're going to have bone bruises up and down your arm. So you use the muscle underneath here, the padded side of the arm, pop, right? Pop. Now, because you're doing that, it actually helps you feel, or should help you feel, the full body spiral, right? Spiral. 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 I'm going to stand back so you can see my feet, because the spiral starts in the foot. Watch this side of my body. And now the other side. The power in my arm comes from my leg driving into the ground. Watch this leg. Now this leg. It's when my leg drives into the ground and I spiral up from that. It comes from a spiral like this. Think about whatever you're going to hit as not being too far away from you. So what you're going to hit is not out here. It's more like about here. All right? Pop. Not clear out here. The reason being, when your aim is for something clear out there, it'll sort of pull you off your balance. It's in pretty close. Yes. Now, if we were in the same room, I would have each of you one at a time line up next to me and put one hand on my belly and one hand on my hip, so you can feel what's going on. The muscles need to work in a certain sequence. You got to get a lot of hip into this, or what we call hips. You know, your hip joints are in here, but we call these the hips, right? Those aren't really the hips, but we call them the hips. All right. So watch the hip here. All right. Watch the blue. All right, watch the blue here. Ankle, knee, hip. In a sense, the hand and the arm are not that important. Right? It's this that's doing it. Now watch the relationship between the Danqian and the Mingmen in back and the Tanzhuang. Right? I'm going to sink into the left qua. Right? I'm going to sink into the red qua. And when I do that, that means I'm going to sink into my Danqian. And then when I deliver the blow, I'm going to come up to the Tanzhuang. Watch. Now on the blue side, red side, blue side, red side, blue side, red side. It's snapping that hip, snapping that hip. Snap, 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 snap. So it's like the surface of your hand is tied to your quad. And then it's like snapping your fingers. I mean, your fingers, right? Soft, right? Snap, snap, snap. How do you snap your fingers? You don't snap your fingers at first. You build up a little tension. You know, we're so used to doing it, we don't think about it, but you build up a little tension and then you release the tension. Build up some tension, snap. You release the tension. Build up some tension, boom, release the tension. Build up some tension, boom, release the tension. Release, 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 release. It's exactly the same as doing this. Build up some tension, release. Once you get it, then you can do it very softly. You don't have to snap it. You can just do it very softly. What's doing it is this in here. The hands just express it. The energy comes from the legs. It's directed by the waist. It's expressed in the hands. Right? Questions? Okay, no questions.
It's hard. Not easy.
It's not easy, but it's not that complicated.
No, I mean, it's not complicated to understand, but
Yes.
it's not easy to feel.
Yes, that's exactly right. That's why you just keep practicing, 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 and slowly over several month time, your body will begin to get used to this motion. As it gets used to the motion, it will go into the motion more deeply. It's when it gets in there good and deep, right? Then you can start to develop some real silk reeling. Getting yourself a cat will help too. Okay, guys, have yourselves a great day.
Thank
See
you.
you tomorrow. Ciao.